Asked to speak, come all the way up from Florida, and I'd like to give him a nice Pittsburgh welcome. His name's Phil D.
Good morning. Anybody here believe in miracles? If you don't, within the next hour, I promise you'll believe in them. My name is Phil. I'm a drug addict. I'm a member of the Upfront group in Miami, Florida. We meet every Monday and Thursday night. If you're ever down there, I'd love you to come and see us. This is amazing how this program works. You know, I've been a nervous wreck. I wasn't raised to be a public speaker. I don't think this is easy for any of us when we have to do this, but I was sitting there, and as I was sitting there, I started to look around the room, and I started to look at all my friends that are here. And it's hard to believe that a guy like me could have friends that I have today. And just by looking out and seeing some of the faces, I'm telling you, as I was sitting there, it just went away. It just went away. The butterflies just went away. And it's just amazing. There's a lot of miracles that have happened in my life. It's hard to believe for me. A little bit over 7 years ago, I ran through this city like a tornado. I'm born and raised in Pittsburgh. And as a result of almost 14 years of my active addiction, I ran through the city like a tornado, and what I did, I had used so many different people and institutions and everything that's available up here. I had gotten to the point where I couldn't find a hospital that would put up with me anymore. It was hard to find hospitals because I had gone to so many to detox. I couldn't find rehabs that would take me because I'd been to too many of those. I'd been coming around rooms like this for a long time, and I even started to run through some people that come around here that just couldn't really deal with me anymore either. In fact, it got so bad that I started overdosing so many times in the end that the paramedic squad would even come and get me on my last overdose. Two guys in this room tonight, Murray and KJ, came to get me because the paramedics wouldn't come and get me, and nobody wanted anything to do with me. And what's amazing to me, some time has passed, and a group of addicts call me up, they fly me up here, they put me up in a nice room, they take care of me, and they asked me to come in here and share my story, and they asked me, of all things to share, to talk about God in my life. God is, I was angry at God. God was the reason that I was what I was. That's one of the things that kept me out there so long. It's just a miracle, and that's what you're going to be hearing from me. By the way, I was asked by the Philly squad if I could speak till 1:30, and they'd be stuck here for a while. So I also want to wish Denise a happy 1-year birthday. luck to my two new friends out here that hopefully, if they come around here, maybe they'll be at this convention next year celebrating their one-year birthdays. I certainly have seen stranger things than that in my life. And, the nice thing about a birthday, I want to say this to Denise. I heard somebody say it one time, it really hit me very hard. And, we come around here to these rooms, we have a lot of fun, there's a lot of laughter, there's a lot of joy, but it's real serious stuff in here. And, on a different day, on a different time, on a different occasion, groups of people like us could have gone out to put flowers on Denise's grave. But instead, we're meeting here tonight to help her celebrate her one-year anniversary of trying to save her life. That's what this is all about. I've had a lot of flashes and thoughts going through my mind. When I got called, Steve called me a month ago to ask me to do this. And we had a convention. I'm going to tell you how God works in my life, okay? Because 2 weeks ago, there was a mini convention down in Key West, Florida. I had no intentions of going to this convention, but when I was called to ask to come here to do this, I figured, hey, what the heck? I'll go down to the convention, check the Sunday morning speaker out, This is for real. Maybe get an idea of what I can do up here because, I've been to conventions, I've been to these meetings before, but I'd never had to think about how to do it, so I figured that's what I'll do. I'll go down there, I'll hear the speaker, maybe I'll get some pointers, some ideas on how to do this, and that's what I did. I went to the convention, we had great weather, we had a wonderful time, I got a lot of rest and relaxation, which is what I needed. Sunday morning came, and this is how God works in my life. They had a topic discussion, Sunday morning meeting. Now, I've been to a few conventions in my day, and I don't know about anybody else here, I have never been to a convention where the Sunday morning meeting was a topic discussion. Okay. So right then and there, God as I know Him and as He knows me, He was telling me, look, you idiot, just get up there and do it the way you do it, and tell Him the way that it worked in your life. And I am not a born-again Christian. I'm not a holy roller. I'm not one of those people that praises the Lord left and right. But I tell you something. As a result of doing some things since I came around this fellowship, something has happened to me. And I have a faith that sometimes amazes me how strong it is, and I have come to believe in a power greater than myself. Than myself that can get me through anything. And I have had a spiritual awakening, and I've had spiritual experiences, and I have things that have happened to me that I know without a question of a doubt that there has to be a God out there that's in my life. And that's really what I'm going to share with you. Okay? I don't know any other way to do it. I don't know any other thing to talk about. I can tell you that when Steve called me and he asked me, this has been a fantastic month for me because every time I've been alone and every time that I've been in my thoughts, I've, of course, have been planning this in my head, how this is going to come out. But what I was doing over the last month, I've been reliving all my recovery. I've relived everything that's happened to me. Every period that I had to go through and wait and not understand what I was waiting for or why I was waiting for. All those different times when I wanted so badly for something to happen in my life. There was some area in my life that I wanted to work on, that I thought that I needed to work on. but the direction was given me to do other things, and I had to wait. And in time, the answers would come, and all these things, have happened, and I've relived them, and I've had a real amazing last 30 days as a result of that. So no matter what happens up here this morning, I thank you for that. You give me a good month. And on top of all that, last Friday, I was at a meeting and my sponsor came in, and we went on a 12-step call. He pulled me out of the meeting. He says, "Come here. We have to go see somebody." And we went on this 12-step call, and it's a friend of mine that had 3 years clean. About a year ago, he went out. He can't get back. He can't find his way back here. He's been in treatment. He's been in a treatment place that I take meetings to. I was taking meetings in there and talking to him maybe 2-3 months ago. He got out of that treatment center and he had a little bit of hope, and he's been out there running around ever since. But I go on this 12-step call, and he's shacked up in this little hotel down on Miami Beach. And he's pale, and he's, malnourished, and he just looks the way we look, and his room was a shambles. And I walked in this room and I sat down. We started talking, and I looked at him, and all I could think was, what's the difference between me and Jeff? This room that I was in was just like the Penn Shady Hotel that I called home one time. It was like the Haddon Hall Hotel that I called home at one time. It was no different. The room looked like the same room. Maybe they build them that way. They're all the same. But that's like that's kind of where I was at. 30 years old. It's nice to live in a place where you're 30 years old. You come down and it says checkout time 12 noon. But that's where my life had gone. But I looked around this room and I said, what's the difference? Really, what is the difference? Why was he there in his position? Why am I there in my position? How could it be that I'm there to 12-step him to try to help him? It makes no sense.